Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I'm your host, Matrix Lord 212. And I'm with Ben. What's up, Ben?
Reporting for duty, sir.
What's up, Scott?
Hello, all.
What's up, Sally?
What's up?
What's up, Ray?
Greetings from all over the world.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Chris.
You embarrassed him.
We lost Chris?
No, you embarrassed him.
It's Zooly Wooly? It's not working? Oh, no. The main guy, I'm losing Chris. Hello, Chris. Chris. No?
Hello.
Chris has done, Zoom has done a Google.
That's the end of the cast, guys, because he does the news. So, take care, bye for now. Pause. Hello, Chris.
I was here the whole time, and I don't give a shit what this thing says.
Right.
Zoom pulled a schmoogle.
Finally. All right.
Finally, The Rock has come back.
Okay. So, what we got to talk about?
Well, I don't know about anybody else. I know you said you saw it, Scott. I saw the last night today.
I almost saw it. But
Yeah.
God,
Now, I don't know. Do you want to go into spoilers here or not?
Let's do it.
Once you've seen one Transformers movie, you've seen them all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
well,
It's like Home Alone.
Let's have Sally. You want to spoil?
That's
I'm not
fine.
gonna see it till it comes on Blu-ray anyways. I don't care.
All right. Spoil for me. Why not?
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
We'll make it spoiler free.
Optimus
just
Prime
spoil it.
holds Excalibur. All right. What happened?
I got to tell you,
Bumblebee's dead.
no.
Okay. Thank you. You just spoiled it for me. I got
I
you.
got to tell you, right? And, yeah, spoilers, guys, if you don't want to hear
Big
it.
time. Big time.
Spoilers.
Spoilers? What
sweetie.
spoilers?
I got to
Spoilers,
tell
sweetie.
this is the first. Now, I've liked all the Transformers films. I've liked 1 through 4, varying degrees of, liking them. This was the first one that I kind of had a hard time with
Oh no.
at first. I have to say, the first hour that I was in the theater, I was like, I'm not feeling this movie.
Oh.
It did. It took a long, long time.
What?
And it wasn't even because it was boring. It wasn't boring. It moved really quickly, but
And real quick, did you think the ending credits just zoomed by?
I didn't stay for the ending credits. As soon as I saw the scene, I left.
There's no
What?
Easter eggs really, but I was sitting there.
There was no
Oh.
after
I
credit
was looking.
scenes?
Oh.
I was just typing stuff up on my phone. Saying
There
how-
was a mid-credit scene, but it wasn't even like mid-credits.
No.
I can't even say mid-credit. It was a beginning credit scene.
Wait, you left? You got pissed off or no?
No. I saw the whole movie.
Oh,
I didn't stay for all the credits. But so basically, what I was saying was, it's not boring. If anybody says that the first hour is boring, they're either not paying attention or they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
This is what it was like.
Oh no.
It was almost like reading a book, and you're reading the prologue, and you're
Mhm.
waiting to get to chapter 1. That's what the first hour of this movie felt like. It was like, when are we going to get to – because things are happening, but it's like, when are we going to get to the things that have to happen for this movie to
So-
Oh no, Mark Wahlberg wasn't in a garage for a half hour, was he?
No, that's the thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's on a junkyard, I think.
No,
Go ahead, Ray.
I was going to say it's probably like having 100 pages and getting to chapter 1.
Sort of, yeah. So we start out with the Middle Ages thing, which I was into. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is fine. But then Stanley Tucci plays Merlin in this
I
movie.
was wondering if I recognized him. Yeah, I think it's
Now this is the thing I don't understand about that, right? Stanley Tucci played the leader of KSI, the head of KSI in the last movie.
Yeah.
He's playing Merlin in this movie. The characters aren't connected, and they don't mention it at all.
Oh.
So it's like, okay,
I
So
thought
then-
his character returned from the previous movie.
he doesn't. No, he's
Oh
not.
my
The other
god.
characters in it. So when Merlin shows up, you're like, okay, what is he going to do? So King Arthur and his knights, they're having this battle. They're getting defeated, and they're like, don't worry, Merlin will be here. Arthur's like, Merlin's going to be here. He's going to save us. And all the knights are like, no, you're crazy. He's just a drunk idiot. We have to retreat and, live to fight another day. And Arthur's like, no. Without no sacrifice, no victory. We need Merlin to get here. They tried to make Merlin a comedy character.
Yes.
Oh.
They did.
And it failed miserably.
Oh,
So
Why?
Merlin goes, he recruits the 12 Knights of Cybertron that are on Earth. They crash landed on Earth. They've been on Earth for a while. So the idea of basically think Thor, the idea of magic was not magic at all. It was just their technology.
Outer space.
oh,
Yep.
Which was
my.
fine. Which was fine. That angle was good. It worked. So the
Wow.
12 Knights of Cybertron, they don't actually have like a normal alt mode. They're actually a combiner. And when they combine, they form Dragonstorm, which is the three-headed dragon.
Okay.
That's cool.
Awesome. Dragonstorm is one of the highlights of this movie. He's not in it
And
a
you
lot.
gotta understand the era is going to be that Dark Age, and so therefore it's going to be a mythical creature such as the dragon.
Right. So he basically saves the knights and Arthur, and then from there we come to modern times. Now, one of the big things in this movie that I think they should have focused on, because this was the most interesting part of the movie for me, was that all across the world in 6 different locations on different continents, there are these horns
Yeah, they kept
that are
springing
just
from
growing
the
out of
earth.
the earth. These giant mechanical horns are just growing out of the earth. And
Okay.
they're growing meters per day. And they're like, what the hell is this?
Okay.
And where did these things come from? And what are they doing? They're not really doing anything. They're not dangerous. People are getting near them, and it's like, okay, this is fine. That is probably the most interesting thing about this whole movie, is what are those things? And they don't focus on them.
Okay.
And it's like, fine. Those are going to be the most important part of the next movie.
Yeah,
And
everyone
when I
thought that was
say
going
the
to be
most
Unicron.
important part of not only the next movie, these things will affect 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when they finally get into. So bear with me there, because I don't know how you felt about them, Scott, because you know what they are.
Yes,
I know
I
what
do. I do.
I thought those were really interesting. I don't know how you felt, but
This seemed more like they were stressing on the whole Optimus having been reprogrammed and pretty much trying to bring the end of the Earth instead of focusing on what these horns were, which pretty much they were stating in the movie. If at the time they thought they're too spread out, why? And then they do a little sort of like a rewind of the world when it was Pangea. And in reality, you could understand how they were all
they were in a
lined up.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The horns, basically what he's saying is it's a known fact that at the beginning of when the Earth was first created, or when the Earth first developed, whatever way you believe that happened, it's known that all of the continents were actually one giant continent at
Pangea.
the very
Super
beginning,
Yeah.
called Pangea. And when they rearranged the continents as they are today back into Pangea, these horns that are growing out of the Earth aren't separated. They're actually a giant circle,
Okay.
and in the center is Stonehenge.
Which is
So-
in my land.
Yeah. So Stonehenge is like that's the main point of this movie. Is like, we have to get there because something's happened
Boom.
there.
So let me ask you a question. And I know it's going to spoil things, but Optimus turns back to normal or no?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Bumblebee dies?
No.
No.
Bumblebee merges with Optimus?
I will say this much: he does get a regular voice in this.
Oh, good. Enough with the
Because what
radio
was funny
nonsense.
was they had this this one Autobot who's sort of like a Junkert.
It was Rekgar.
Is
You
it-
remember Rekgar
and
from the
first-
other movie?
Red car.
Yeah, thanks. And they give him a voice box. Well, the voice box turns out to be Siri's voice.
Ah!
Oh, yeah, I saw that in the
For a few minutes, Bumblebee was sounding like
Who's
Siri.
my friend on Twitter? I can't.
He's like, that's not my damn
And he
voice.
does a little.
Yeah.
If you ever want to know how Siri sounds when she's cussing, he does it that way.
Well,
See?
I want to stress too that at that point in the movie, we're starting to get when Bumblebee gets that voice box, we're starting to get towards like the beginning of the middle of the film, if that makes sense. We are still not into the main story yet.
Oh God.
So this is my thing. And I don't want to go through the whole movie because it takes too long to go through it. But when they finally get going, it's still like, oh my gosh, why?
Oh my God.
So the first hour, I will tell you that when I was ready to rip this movie apart, because the first hour I'm sitting there and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I kid you not. When Optimus Prime comes back to Earth, the movie takes a complete turn and becomes amazing.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just me, but as soon as he showed up, everything just started getting better.
Yep.
And I was just like,
And how they did it
Whoa.
was excellent because you're thinking, how the hell did these one protecting clan get destroyed? Because they just seem to blow up all at once, and then Optimus comes out and he used that sword to just waylay.
The
well,
way
this
you
was before that too. I mean, like
Yeah.
when he comes back to Earth, it's before he fights them. But so this is the main plot of the movie. I'll try to sum it up in a nutshell because
Notes.
now we're into the plot of the movie. So if you remember the end of Age of Extinction, Optimus went to go find the creator.
Yes.
yes.
He makes it to Cybertron, and it looks like it's being rebuilt almost because of what happened in Dark of the Moon, where it got completely like destroyed because Sentinel was trying to bring it here.
Yes.
He gets there, and Optimus is like, "What the hell's going on?" So
Right.
he's walking around a little bit, and then he hears this voice, this female voice, and she's like, "Your planet is dying." And basically, this is our main villain. Her name is Quintessa, which
Oh, the
originally was the planet
Quintessa. Yeah.
with the Quintessons. However, there
Yeah.
are no Quintessons in this
No.
movie.
I think it would be kind of neat to see Quintessons, but yeah,
Yeah.
but this works.
But so Quintessa's there, and she basically, quote unquote, captures Optimus Prime. And she alludes to the fact that she was the one who sent Lockdown to Earth to bring Optimus back. So Optimus is like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this to the Earth?" And she goes, "My name is Quintessa, but I am the Prime of creation."
Okay.
So she's one of the primes, and she created the Cybertronians. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That kind of fits the lore in some versions of it. Not the original lore, but it fits the lore.
Right.
So her goal is to bring Cybertron, as it is, within Earth's atmosphere to drain the core so that Cybertron can reform around this new core and they can have their planet back. Now, this was a shocking thing to me because this reveal, I think if they would have saved it to the end of the movie, would have been better,
Yeah.
but I understand why they didn't.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to say is going to sound ridiculous.
Keep remembering those horns that are growing out from the earth.
Right.
And I just want to stress that this storyline has been done before. This is not a new storyline. This storyline has been done in Transformers Prime. Unicron is in the core of the Earth.
What?
Unicron is in the core of the Earth.
Oh.
Oh,
And
God.
his horns are coming out of the Earth. That's what they are. Is that he's coming out, and those horns are his. Or related to him somehow. They're connected to him somehow. Quintessa is trying to basically absorb his spark, is what I'm assuming, because they said life force, and the life force of a Transformer is their spark.
Okay.
So she wants to absorb his spark because it is the main duty of the Primes to make sure Unicron dies. So by doing this, they'll kill Unicron, and they'll be able to bring Cybertron back. But in doing so, the Earth will be destroyed.
Not gonna happen.
So Optimus is like, I didn't know Unicron was in the core of the Earth. And she's like, well, now you know, basically. And she says, are you going to help me or not? And he's like,
No.
And then she's like, Optimus. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
What?
So he
Yeah,
becomes
program
Nemesis
basically.
Prime.
He becomes what?
Nemesis Prime.
Nemesis.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I'm shocked that they said that because Nemesis Prime is an actual like separate character.
So what does that mean? That he's evil?
Yes.
For
So
a time,
he
yes.
literally says, "I am Nemesis Prime,"
Yeah.
But
and I was like, "Whoa,
Of his own accord.
yes," basically.
So he's purposeful evil. He's
Well, she manipulated him a bit, but
Oh.
they play it that this was his own choice, really.
Yeah.
But didn't they already him as a separate character?
I'm not liking what you're telling me about this so far.
It
No.
works with the concept of the movie.
It
You
does.
have to
It
see
actually
it to
It
does.
believe
really
it, I
does.
guess.
When you watch it, it really works with the concept of the movie because you're thinking, okay, Optimus, why are you? Because if you remember the trailer, you keep saying, okay, why is Optimus battling his buddies and all
Right.
that? And then when you see the movie and see how he gets manipulated into thinking he's doing good, when in reality he's being manipulated to kill his new home.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how the whole Nemesis Prime thing comes to be.
I see.
Now, I would have been more okay with this, but this becomes one of my major problems with this movie. He's not the main villain.
Nope.
Wait,
Who
what?
is?
Optimus is barely in this movie
Oh, come on.
At all.
Dude.
So
3 hours, 2.5 hours, he's not hardly in it?
yeah.
Oh.
So
So
Go ahead, Ray.
he's one of the main Transformers. How can you not have him
What's
in
the
the entire movie?
problem? What's the problem?
well, that's one of my major problems with the movie is that there is no main villain.
What?
They have Megatron there, and by the way, if anybody's expecting an explanation about how Galvatron became Megatron, it's not in this movie.
Give it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, let's
He's
just
just
have a
Megatron.
movie for 3 hours, 2.5 hours, and then don't explain anything.
Michael Bay.
Well,
I'm not liking this at all.
So Megatron's whole thing in this movie is he wants to get his Decepticons back. They've been
where's
captured.
Galvatron?
He's gone. He's Megatron.
Oh, well,
Just like that.
He's just
Yeah.
Megatron.
Does he
Yeah,
do that
let's
stupid
lay
thing,
him out.
that's weird
No.
effect?
No,
Oh.
no.
No,
He transforms
that's
like
what-
normal.
that's what Chris says. There's no explanation for it.
Yeah, he shows up as Megatron, and even the U.S. military who's tracking him, they're like, he's Megatron. They call him Megatron. He's Megatron.
Oh,
Megatron.
Okay.
So him and Barricade are basically on the run, and Megatron is like, we got to get our Decepticons back because I know what's going on Earth. He knows about the horns,
Right.
and he says, I know what's happening. This is a sign that Quintessa is going to bring Cybertron back to Earth again.
Okay.
We need to be ready. We need to get my Decepticons. Now, this was all really good stuff with Megatron trying to get his Decepticons back. So he kidnaps these two CIA agents, and he sends a message to the U.S. military. Says, I want to do a hostage exchange. I'll give you yours.
I don't even want to get this. Well, I'm listening to it.
This is good. No, this is all good stuff. He says, I want to do a hostage exchange. You have my Decepticons. You know, you've been chasing them over the world. Some of them have been captured. I want them back in exchange for your CIA agents. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. But then Captain Lennox and, you know, from the old Transformers movies, and him and some of the other military say, you know what we could do? We could use the Decepticons because we know that they're going to go after Cade Yeager because Cade Yeager has basically the object that they're looking for.
Squad type of setup.
He's like, we can use them to find Cade Yeager, and then we can just destroy the Decepticons in an airstrike and get Yeager into custody, and we can basically kill two birds with one stone.
So the airstrike's going to kill the Decepticons?
Well, I mean, it does in every other movie. So they're like, okay. So, and this was a good part of the movie because Megatron meets Lennox and his team in the desert, and he's naming the Decepticons that he wants released. And every time he names a Decepticon, they show this Decepticon.
Yep.
And that was what was really good about this is all of the Decepticons have a personality. They're actual characters. They're not just drones. So he gets most of his Decepticons that he wants. He releases the CIA agents, and this plan basically goes well, except Cade Yeager expects that he's going to be attacked one day, so he has defenses around his junkyard.
And,
So when
and this little town.
Yeah. So when the Decepticons show up, he fights them off, and the military's like, we have to call off this airstrike and this idea because we don't want to kill Yeager. We don't want to endanger civilians. We're just going to have to keep tracking the Decepticons. Some of them are killed in the battle, but we have to make sure that no civilians are killed. We can't go in and get rid of these Decepticons right now.
Okay.
So as this is going on, after this battle, during the next scene, because these scenes just kind of show up, Yeager meets this Autobot called Cogman, who's a human-sized transformer, about 4 feet tall, I guess.
Yeah.
And he is like the butler character, quote unquote, for Anthony Hopkins, his character.
Right.
And Anthony Hopkins sent him to get Cade Yeager because Yeager found this talisman that's going to basically set the plot in motion. And Cogman's like, you have to come with me because I know what's going on. My master knows what's going on. And if you don't come with me, we're all just going to die anyway. So Yeager's like, all right, I'll go. So he goes to England with them, him and Bumblebee. And there they meet Vivian Wembley, who is the other main character, quote unquote, main character in this movie. And Anthony Hopkins tells them, I know what's going on. He shows them what's going on. And he tells them the story.
His whole family tree thing.
Right.
Leading all the way back to, let's just say, creation, just for shits and giggles.
Right.
And it turns out that Shia LaBeouf's character from the first 2 movies pretty much is related to, is also involved with this.
He's not in it, though.
He's not in it, no.
No, he's not in the movie. They show him with pictures, but that's all.
So basically, Anthony Hopkins' character is part of an order that their sole purpose is to keep the secret history of Transformers on Earth a secret. So he tells them that throughout the ages, Transformers have been coming to Earth, and there's a reason that they've been coming to Earth. It's not just, plot convenience, everything takes place on Earth. He says there's a reason that they keep coming to Earth, and the reason, if people knew, would basically shake the foundations of civilization. And he basically tells them Unicron is in the center of the Earth, and that's why they keep coming here. So that's when we get the clip of Bumblebee in World War II.
Yep.
Hot Rod is there as well. It's a very quick scene. They don't play up this throughout history thing throughout this movie that much, but he tells
the beginning of this part here, because Hopkins' character asked him if he remembers him, because I was this high, and that high, and Bumblebee's just like, who the hell do you think I am? All this time.
So Anthony Hopkins' character explains to Vivian that she is actually the last descendant of Merlin, and only she can use this staff that Merlin has that was actually a Cybertronian staff. The staff activates this ship that when it comes over Stonehenge, it will start the process of draining the core to bring Cybertron back. While this is going on, Quintessa has begun moving Cybertron towards Earth, and it's moving very quickly, like light years fast. And she's going to be here within a couple of days. It's moving that quickly. They said that even just the fragments of Cybertron that are coming towards Earth could destroy the Earth, because if they hit the crust, they could just literally drag across the crust and just destroy anything that they hit. So Vivian and Yeager are like, all right, we have to go on this journey. We have to find this ship. Long story short, they find the ship. It's at the bottom of the ocean. They have this submarine transformer that takes them there. And inside the ship are the dead, quote-unquote, dead bodies. They're not really dead. They're in stasis, of the Knights of Cybertron.
Okay.
And inside there, they find the staff. They find Merlin's body in a tomb. And inside of it is the staff. And when Vivian touches it, the staff transforms into the normal staff that it's supposed to look like. Because it looks like it's like eroded.
It just looks like a petrified stick of wood when you first find it.
So there was a cliffhanger at this, or?
No. So, well, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. But,
so during this, Cybertron comes within. It's close enough to Earth for Optimus to get back to the Earth. So he flies from Cybertron and comes into Earth's atmosphere, and he finds the ship because the ship comes up to the surface when Vivian touches the staff. He gets into the ship, and Cade Yeager's like, Optimus, I can't believe you're here. And that's when Optimus is like, I'll kill any one of you that come near me, blah, 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 blah.
Whoa.
He's
Okay.
still Nemesis Prime at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets the staff, and he heads up to the surface of this ship. And Bumblebee's like, Optimus, what are you doing? Why are you helping Quintessa? What's going on? That's when Optimus and Bumblebee fight, and he's about to kill Bumblebee. And that's when Bumblebee says, Optimus, it's me, Bumblebee, but it's his regular voice.
Yeah.
And he says, I would lay down my life for you. I'm your oldest friend. And Optimus is like,
I
haven't heard your voice since the fall of
way back
Cybertron.
when.
And that's when he turns back to normal. And he's like, what have I done? So then the Knights of Cybertron that were in the ship, they awaken when the staff activates and the ship comes up, and they start attacking Optimus because they think that he's betrayed them. And they're about to kill him. And then Cade Yeager's like, you've got to stop. They're not listening to him. And then the talisman that he has transforms into this sword.
Which was smooth.
Yeah, and when they see the sword, all the knights are like, oh, he's the last knight. So they join the Autobots. Meanwhile, during all of this, Megatron gets the staff, and he's like, we're bringing this to Quintessa because she's going to bring Cybertron back, and when Cybertron's back, I'm going to be in charge. So he gets the staff up to her, and she starts draining the core. Anthony Hopkins' character tries to stop Megatron, and he gets killed by Megatron. So Optimus, the Knights, the U.S. military, they all go up to this center point where Cybertron, like the control panel where Cybertron is absorbing the core. And they're like, if we can get Vivian in there, she can grab the staff, she can shut this thing down, and then Earth will be saved. But we have a limited time because if they absorb enough of the core, the Earth's magnetic field will dissipate, and then the sun will basically fry the planet.
Right.
So they get up there. They have this, typical huge battle with, you see at the end of Transformers. This was different because it was actually in like an open field. It wasn't in like a city or something. And, so they're fighting the Decepticons that are up there. Quintessa has her own Cybertronians called the Infernicons. And they can combine into this giant Cybertronian called Infernicus. And so Optimus fights him and kills him. And then the Knights of Cybertron all transform into Dragonstorm. And they're helping the Autobots fight them. And all of the Autobots basically close in and fight Megatron, which was a really cool scene.
Yes.
And Megatron survives. He does get defeated, but he survives in as far as we know. And then there's a really cool scene where Optimus goes up and he's trying to fight Quintessa, but she's holding him back with this like magnetic force. And he goes, I want you to meet my friend Bumblebee. And then Bee comes up from behind her and shoots her.
Oh, wow.
But she doesn't die. She just falls out of the ship. So they get the staff back. They shut down the thing absorbing Cybertron's core, Earth's core. And that's basically it. Now, what I thought was cool was Cybertron doesn't really go away. It kind of just like drifts away from the Earth, but it's still in our solar system.
I see.
And so at the end of the movie, Optimus sends a message to all of the Autobots on Earth and says, we need to rebuild Cybertron and the Earth, the parts of the Earth that have been damaged. We need to rebuild this together.
And then, like we were saying before, there's a beginning. It's not exactly beginning of the credits, before the credits, but you see, they start showing this woman walking through the desert, and you're thinking, okay, are we doing a Mummy take on this? And I started thinking, and when they did a close up of her face, I was thinking, oh shit, that's when you realize that's Quintessa.
Yeah, basically Quintessa's taken on a human form.
In some way to where
She's a pretender.
Yeah, Quintessa takes on a human form, and it's actually the actress that does her voice, Gemma Chan, I think is her name.
Okay.
You know the actress from Humans that they always show on like during The Walking Dead for that show Humans? She's the main actress there. She talks to this one guy, and they're looking at one of these horns that's coming out of the earth, and she walks up to him and she goes, "He doesn't like when you do that." And he goes, "What?" She goes, "She doesn't like when you touch. He doesn't like when you touch him." And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And then she goes, "I can tell you how to kill him." And then you see like they do like her face like does this
there's
like
that
blue
little-
wave, and you can tell it's her, like Scott said, and that's where it ends.
Oh.
So from the point where Optimus comes back to Earth, it's really good. But before that, it's really messy.
What do you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10,
Wow.
which is
I'm
not my
gonna
lowest
have to
rating. My
give it
lowest rating was for Revenge of the Fallen,
6.5
which was a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
But it was like the ending credit scenes. I'm sitting there. I know I'm fiddling with my phone to try to get a rating for this. But I look up, and the credit scene's like gone.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see it. I think, or
Yeah, I'm
maybe
gonna
on,
wait till it's on home
or
video.
maybe on
yeah.
video. Yeah.
Because I
I'm
said
not.
it was a matinee and a DVD worthy. I didn't go on to the whole full price.
I'm not gonna do a luxury seating and
Yeah.
spend all
No,
this.
this is not a luxury.
I
This
think
is pretty much, like I said, a matinee or wait for DVD type.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I think as David Tennant once said, Transformers 5, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing too. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, there's going to be time travel in this movie." There's no time travel in this movie
Yeah.
except
Well,
for Hot Rod's gun has this like weird like time slowdown effect.
Okay.
Not for all of time, for like a limited area where he shoots, which is
Okay.
actually really
French
cool.
too.
Yeah, Hot Rod was cool, but you can definitely tell he's not going to be what he was in the animated movie.
Yeah.
But he was a cool character. There were a lot of cool characters in the movie, like Transformers-wise. And like I said, the Decepticons had personalities. They weren't just,
Mm-hmm.
that's Decepticon A, and he's just a bad guy that transforms into a tank.
Right.
Yeah.
My other problem was they killed all of the Decepticons except for Megatron and Barricade.
Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So I'm
'Cause
like,
you knew
every
those were
movie
the
they
two
kill
big
these
bad-
Decepticons.
Because they need new ones to make new toys for the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like Hound.
So I definitely think that I really didn't like the first hour much, but like I said, when Optimus shows up to back on Earth to the rest of the movie,
just builds
it's good.
and goes quick. Yeah.
So there was a story about the sequels are not plotted out for Transformers. Did you read that?
Well, I know that they've confirmed that the next one's going to be in 2019, main story-wise. Bumblebee is coming out next year, and that takes place in '85. So
Okay.
I'm assuming the next movie is going to be about Unicron.
Now, Michael Bay did all these, right? Did he write these, or did he like
He
get it
directs
together?
them. He doesn't write them.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
just directs, doesn't he?
And he said, and I quote, "Number 5 is my last movie."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Until
Gotcha.
Paramount gives me a big check to do another one.
Well,
Oh,
this
he
is my
said that?
thing.
Okay.
This is the thing about that. Travis Knight is directing the Bumblebee movie.
okay.
I definitely think that they're going to get a different director for 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the
Now I
fans
do.
mainly complain about Bay ruining the franchise, so they probably want to distance themselves from him for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're
So,
gonna
I
reboot
mean-
it?
No. 7 is going to be about Unicron, and or 6 if you want to call it 6 in the main series.
Okay.
I think there's a chance that he might want to come back if they tell him, "Hey, we're doing Unicron. Do you want to do that?"
Yeah, he'll do that.
I don't know. However, I who knows?
If
He
this
comes
Travis,
back all the time. He's
Yeah.
if this,
Oh, we got a minute left. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Dude. I didn't
yeah, if
realize.
this, I was going to just say before we go, if this Travis Knight does well with Bumblebee, he might take it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm sorry. We got a minute left.
His money back. Let's say that much.
Do you think it's going to be like over $1 billion, Chris? It's going to make?
Oh no.
Lost you again?
guess
Zule.
I can see it making.
Hi,
it's gonna make
Daniel. I know you got 5 seconds left, so are you interested in Transformers?
Nope.
What?
Oh.
No, I'm not into that stuff.
Oh, you're not into Transformers. I'm sorry,
Guess we
dude.
should move the
All right,
spiel.
we're going to get out of here, so take care. Bye for now.